Repeating new words is one of the most important tasks you have when you want to learn a new language. Why? Let me show you some numbers. An average native speaker in any language uses 10 to 15,000 words actively and more passively. That means she will understand these words but does not use them. If you want to have the same vocabulary as a native speaker and you manage to learn one new word per day, it's going to take you 30 years. If you manage to learn 10 new words a day, it's going to take you 3 years. So that sounds better, right? But is it realistic? Not at all. For two simple reasons. Firstly, you're not going to learn 10 new words a day because it takes time and you might forget about it or you might be too busy. Secondly, learning new words once is nothing, as you might know from your language learning experience. You have to repeat them 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, maybe even more often, until you really know them, until you're not going to forget them again. So you have to reduce the number of words that you're going to learn every day, otherwise you will never get there. And that's one of the simple reasons why people do not get the same vocabulary as native speakers within a short time. So that's the bad news. However, I have good news as well. In order to be fluent, you don't need 10,000 words. 4,000 will do. If you want to manage everyday life, 2,000 will do. And on a tourist level, you can even get along with 500. But 500 is, of course, limiting you quite a lot. So how can you get closer to these 4,000? As I said, you have to build a powerful routine of learning new words every single day, but choose a small number of new words. Only 3, or maybe 4, maybe 5, but certainly not more. Because you have to make sure that this new routine you're building is so short or takes so little time that you're really going to do it every day, whatever happens. Like brushing your teeth. It has to be completely automatic. It has to happen on holidays, on business trips, when you're at home, when you're with your family, on Monday, on Sunday, every day. Because otherwise, when you start saying, oh, today I forgot, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be busy, then you're gone, right? It doesn't work. It has to happen every day. So find a time in your daily routine where you can do that, where it suits you. It can be before breakfast or after breakfast, when you come home from your job, before you go to bed, whatever. That's really depending on you, on your routines, on your daily life. Find a time that suits you. And during these 5 or 10 minutes when you're working on this, nobody is allowed to disturb you. When the telephone rings, call them back. Don't answer it. Make an exception if you have a heart attack or if there's a fire in your house. Otherwise, you're going to do your vocabulary during these 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so how can you do that? That was a lot of theory now, but what you're going to do is you use flashcards, paper, that trees. So we're in a digital medium here, but I prefer paper for this, and I will tell you in a second why. You write the English word on one side and the Norwegian translation on the other side. With the Norwegian translation, make sure to include the non-definite article for the nouns, so that you learn the gender as well, and the preteritum form, that means the past tense form, for the verbs, so that you learn this one as well. And in addition, any irregular forms, if there are any. So here I have en kopp, there is no irregular form, so I just have the non-definite article on the Norwegian side. Now when you repeat words, you always look at the English side first, and then you try to think of the Norwegian translation. If you have a bit of time, take a piece of paper and write the Norwegian translation before checking on the other side of your flashcard if you were right or wrong. If you were wrong, you put the flashcard to the right, and if you were right, you put the flashcard to your left, or whichever system you prefer. But anyway, the difficult cards, the ones you did not know, you have to repeat several times until you get familiar with those as well. Why should you write it on paper? Because that's another way of learning. When you type everything on your smartphone or you're just looking at printed material, it's not the same. Once you have written a word, and maybe written it several times, it's easier to stick in your memory. Written with your hand on paper with a pencil, traditional way. So To sum up, make sure to do this every single day. Make sure to repeat, not just write new flashcards, but repeat. Repeat yesterday's words. Once a week, repeat all words for the week. Repeat all the difficult words for the last 3 days. Whatever, find a system that will make sure that you grow your vocabulary. Maybe once a month you can repeat all the words when you have a whole Sunday afternoon and you're going to have a lot of words which you have forgotten. Then don't repeat all of those during the next day. Maybe just 10, and then 10 the next day, and so on. So make sure that you have a low number of new words, but do this completely regularly as often as you can.